The Man in the Bunny Costume. When I was younger, I used to live by the woods and could see a cemetery from my back porch. One Easter, I remember waking up and seeing the Easter Bunny, one of those terrifying costumes. And what really gets me is I remember smelling that wet hay. When I woke up, I didn't tell anyone, but there was an extra Easter egg in my house that my parents didn't hide. Years later, when I was in high school, I asked my parents if they ever dressed up like the Easter Bunny and came into our room. They said they would never go through so much trouble. Then my younger sister, who I shared a bunk bed with, when this happened, she said she remembers when the Easter Bunny came into our room and made a remark about the hay smell. I was terrified they both remembered seeing a person dressed as a bunny in our room. To make it even stranger, I told the friends I sat with at lunch what happened. One of the girls in my neighborhood is my neighbor across the street. She told me that one Easter, a long time, she looked out her window during the night and saw the Easter Bunny standing in her driveway. I had the chills. To this day, I am terrified of people in rabbit costumes. When my niece was really young, she was in a bouncer at my sister's house. I was house and babysitting. I had left her to go to the kitchen to grab some water. My sister's chocolate labs were probably sniffing and licking her head because I could hear her giggling like she was having a blast. I hadn't noticed how cold it had gotten. Then I heard it, a loud wooden snap. Like a thick piece of wood had been snapped in half suddenly off of a tree or was knocked over. I ran into the room and what I saw and smelled freaked me out. The dogs were huddled in a corner, whimpering. My niece was just staring at the ceiling corner with wide eyes. And it was cold and smelled like station. I took her, and we decided to go to a different room. When my sister finally came home, I told her what happened. She just rolled her eyes and said, "That is, huh?" I was confused. She said Hugh was the previous owner of the house who had died 10 years before his wife sold it. She says he likes to follow my niece around and you could tell if it's him because the dog's freak. It gets cold and smells like cheap cologne. I don't believe in that stuff, but I do believe that feeling you get in your gut when something doesn't feel right. Stranger in the house. In college, I would go home every other weekend, to work at the job I had since high school. I would drive directly from campus after my last class on Friday to my job, about an hour. And after my shift was done, I'd go back to my parents' house, which was out in the middle of nowhere. My parents weren't home yet when I got back from work. They often spent their time Friday and Saturday evenings drinking like they were the ones in college. So the house was dark, and since it was mid-fall, so was the yard, save for the yard light. I pulled into my normal parking spot, got out of the car, and then turned to open the back door of my car and get my backpack out of the back seat. That's when I noticed the bathroom light was on. Was that light on when I pulled up? It must have been, right? As I was contemplating the light and reaching for my backpack, there was suddenly a very angry, old-looking old woman standing in the window staring at me. We're not talking resting female face here either. She was mad at me, and I knew it. We stood there staring at each other for a good 10 seconds when my parents pulled into the driveway and distracted me from my stare down with the woman in the bathroom. By the time I turned back, the light was still on, but the woman was gone. When the dead walk the halls. I used to volunteer at a nursing home where we had several instances where new residents currently described former residents down to specific nightgowns or color of glasses who I and the staff knew had died in that room, and complained about them coming into the room at night. Then, once I was walking through the hallway, and it was normally uncomfortable warm inside, but I felt the chill and goosebumps. One of the CNAs said I had just walked through a ghost. I couldn't get warm again for the rest of the day. There were flickering lights and TVs turning themselves on. Several of the staff were from the same Southeast Asian country, and they were talking about ghosts and disrespect for the dead, so much that management had someone come in to do a candlelight ceremony, and this lady with crystals and dreadlocks came in to do a sage brushing. Things calmed down after that. Lights stayed on better and residents seemed calmer. The Phantom Hairdryer. I was in my sophomore year of high school. I would usually get ready and then wait for my mother to drive me to school. While she was getting ready, I was just kind of hanging out in the bathroom with her while she was putting on makeup and curling her hair. She looked a little frazzled, and I asked if everything was okay. She told me about a weird occurrence the night before. She told me she had been woken up around 2 o'clock by a strange noise. It wasn't super loud, but it was pretty constant. My dad wasn't woken up by it, though it's not surprising. He sleeps a lot, like a log. Anyway, she starts looking for the source of the noise, first checking the bathroom attached to their room, but there isn't anything there. Next, she walks out into the hall and hears a noise from the bathroom nearby. When she walks in, she sees a hairdryer plugged in and turned on, just sitting in the middle of the bath mat on the floor. She thinks it's strange, but there are 4 kids living in the house, and she thought maybe someone had sleepwalked and turned it on. Whatever. She unplugs it and puts it away. She goes back to bed and eventually falls asleep. About an hour later, she wakes up again and hears the same noise. She's kind of mad and goes off to check it out again. Except now the noise is from downstairs. She tracks it down into the guest bathroom into the main entry hall. My parents' house has like 4 bathrooms. She opens the door again. There is a hairdryer turned on, laying in the middle of the floor. She's freaked out at this point, but she unplugs it and puts it away. She doesn't get a great night's sleep after that. So she's telling me the story, and as soon as she comes to the conclusion, we both just freeze. We turn our heads into the walk-in closet of her bathroom. As soon as we look in there, the entire light on the ceiling shatters. Not the light bulb, but the glass cover. It shatters, sending shards of glass everywhere. Well, we both freak and get the heck out. We didn't know what to make of it, but we haven't really had any experiences before or since, and none of my family has experienced anything either. The nightmares. I was a caretaker of a small uninhabited island off the coast of Maine, and my girlfriend and I started having synchronizing nightmares about things that we had never really discussed before. They involve very specific themes, and after a month of this happening, we were gifted a history book of the island that had a small chapter in the back that mentioned the exact hauntings. And this is why the basement is locked. My mother was having dinner at a friend's house. It was a small old cottage that's been around for 100 years. She tries to find the bathroom and pulls on her door that is locked. The friend sees and says, "Sorry, that goes to the basement. The bathroom is over there." Thinking it is odd, my mother asks why the basement door is locked. "It's always locked. In fact, I don't even have a key for it. The real estate agent advised me not to go down there. It has not been upgraded like the rest of the cottage. It is a little more than a root cellar." Fast forward a few weeks when my mother, who works for the police department's community division, is working on a project about the history of the police department in the town. An old man comes in with the news clippings about various community events, as well as news clippings from the 50s about a gruesome murder. My mom was a bit taken aback. "Sorry, I forgot those clippings were in here too." "No, I know this address. It's my friend's house. What happened here?" "Oh," said the old man. "Well, that used to be my mother's house. She had been dating this man who was cruel to her, beat her horribly. She tried again and again to break it off with him, but he'd always come back. Finally, my aunt moved in with us, and my mother finally broke up with him." He started getting emotional. Then one night, he broke in and tied my mother, aunt, sister, and brother up in the basement. He shot them all in front of my mother. Then he shot her and killed himself, leaving a note that she would never leave him again. I was away at college. He started to sob. And that is how my mother's friend learned she has a haunted quadruple murder suicide scene in her basement. She moved out a year later. Hey, have you been enjoying my narrations? I hope you have. Sorry, deep voice. It makes me feel cooler. But anyway, yeah. If you do enjoy this, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Also, I have a new editor. Hi, Mr. Editor. Anyway, yeah. If you want to see more of this, if we can get to 5 likes, I'll drop another upload. A triple upload today. That'll be the most uploads I probably have uploaded in a while. So yeah, let's go. Maybe, I don't know. Depends if y'all drop 5 likes. And I'll say 3 hours. Yeah. Peace.